Today on Chris Dyer's Creative Friends.
Any piezoelectric crystal, if you apply pressure on it, it creates a little electric charge. And that little electric charge is a negative ion. And the orgonite is giving the crystals a big, tight hug. You know, I do a lot of etymology stuff, and it shows up in my lyrics very often. It can even inspire songs. Because people use something for bad, does that mean to get rid of it or to not endorse it? No, it just means to attempt to be more of the example of good and more of a solution. And will there ever be a time when everyone is beyond missing the mark? I don't know. But I know there's a time when whoever's here can love and forgive.
So you're rolling up a little blunt of sorts?
No, man, me a spark beer chalice, man. Beer chalice, me a build, man. Now, Rasta, man, me not deal with no blunt, man. Now, Rasta sip from the chalva, the Holy Grail, and pure sacrament, Chris. You know what I mean? I deal with, brethren.
Oh yeah, nice. Well, that looks like a blunt paper to me.
No, man, that's real tobacco leaf, brethren. It's real tobacco, brethren. You have to know the real leaf, brethren, and have a relationship with the ally, with our brother spirit plant, the tobacco, brethren.
Oh, nice. I like it. So even though you're not smoking it, you're using to light up your chalice. Well,
No,
you got
man.
plenty of tobacco in your chalice, right?
Now, I'm just crisping it out a little so it goes good in the blend. You don't want it to be too wet, you know what I'm saying? You don't want your tobacco to be too moist.
Okay.
You want it to sit with the blend of herb around the same consistency of dryness so one of them doesn't burn faster or slower, you know?
But you use this to light up your chalice as a hemp wick kind of vibes?
No, I'm drying it out to put it in my chalice.
Oh, kind of like a little nest for your herb?
No, it's a mix with the ganja, like a spliff, man.
You chop it up?
Yes, I. Yes, I. So
Gotcha. Wow. Isn't it too thick when it burns?
No, man. It's real good, man. We just have to chop it up and put it in the grind and mix it up with the herbs and then take a long jar. You know what we deal with, Rasta.
Yeah, beautiful. While you set up your tobacco medicine, I'm gonna shout out my sponsor, YAK SNACKS. Woo! Thank you, YAK SNACKS, all the way from Denver. YAK SNACKS makes these delicious gummies that are 1/4 gram of psilocybin mushrooms. Take it in the morning, uplifts my spirit without getting me too high, but always at the end of these shows, I'm a little bit more ephemeral. Would you like one?
Let me see what they deal with here.
Yeah. It's 1/4. They get you a little bit of a buzz, but not too much where you're like incapacitated. They taste good, and they're good people out there. And they sponsor this show, so thank you so much for bringing the medicine and the good vibes to keep on running this beautiful podcast for you guys.
Straight from Colorado. Probably later, I'll probably try one. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yo, give thanks and praises. Yo. I'll put it by this harmonizer that I bought yesterday. Do you know about this apparatus?
A little about it. I know there's a guy named Slim Sperling who rediscovered or brought this technology to the forefront in modern times, and that these are able to help clear pollution from environments, pollution from the energy body, and they're cut and measured to specific ratios and proportions that are frequencies. So every number, every length has its own frequency. And So these are cut to their own frequency and also twisted to allow that oscillating energy to flow through. And energy, just holding one of those, energy flows through it. Being on the ground, the ground energy flows through it. Being in the air, the air energy flows through it. Real energy, not like, a made up, I'm imagining energy flow. No, this is copper, it conducts energy. There's conducting going on there. So the spiral, the way it's wired, and the frequency of the cut creates a field.
Yeah, it's so cool. He was saying that this would not only clean the energy of my house or harmonize it or arrange it, but also like my neighbors or even my whole block.
100, maybe 100 feet
Wow.
radius.
That's crazy that this little copper sculpture could do so much. But then again, I also believe in orgonite, but I don't really understand orgonite so much. But I believe in it, and thus my belief brings the good energy that I look in my spaces.
You don't have to believe in piezoelectric ability. And piezoelectric properties means that if you squeeze on a crystal and squeeze it, it's gonna emit a charge, a negative charge. That's piezoelectric. Any piezoelectric crystal, if you apply pressure on it, it creates a little electric charge. And that little electric charge is a negative ion. And the orgonite is giving the crystals a big, tight hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The crystals sit inside that orgonite getting squeezed, hugged, and so it's just...
It's releasing all this good energy, hopefully.
Allegedly, theoretically. Some people have research that have found it to be true. There'll be others who say it's quackery. I think the thing that happens is the mind is a variable, and people don't take it into consideration. They don't take into consideration that you can do all the experimenting you want to, but as humans, we're always going to bring the variable of the mind into whatever experiment we do, and so the results will always be affected by the consciousness of those who have participated, no matter how much they've tried to double blind, triple blind, you know what I'm saying?
The observer influences the experience and the experiment.
They're the participator every time.
That's awesome. Well, I wish that more of these small, simple contraptions makes it into the homes of all of us, maybe orgonite or these harmonizers, so we have one more chance to have clean energy in the air as opposed to all this EMF that we're bathing in. I suppose I believe in that too. I've never seen it, but I do feel it to some degree when my nerves are a little bit overreacting.
Yes. There is electromagnetic pollution and radio wave pollution. There's even a book, I forget the name of it, because I never read it. I just heard great things about it. It's something about the rainbow, and it talks about how every disease, it's not about the rainbow. The title is something rainbow. And it's about how disease, all the major pandemics and epidemics stemmed from new technologies being introduced into civilization that sort of changed frequencies of things, and so people's bodies began to respond to that. It's an interesting idea. I bring it up not to say believe in it, but to say, hey, check it out, because the theory, there's a lot of correspondences in the book from what I've heard of other people's reports, that it says, when radio waves were formed, there was a pandemic. Of course, when 5G, we had a pandemic, and so maybe
it might unbalance us, even if just temporarily, because the body has one more factor to deal with all of the time.
Yes.
I was watching a movie the other day on Prime of the life of Louis Wayne. Louis Wayne was an artist from the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s,
Yeah.
and he would draw a lot of cats. And as his life progressed, he got more and more insane, and his cats came out more trippy and more trippy. And at the end, they're like full-on DMT explosion cats. And this is like the 1900s. And
Was he high off that cat virus?
maybe he had a lot of cats around him, but him and all his family went insane. His wife, his sister. So maybe there was something in his house that was affecting them. But he was always talking about electricity because at the same time that he was painting these cats and his mind was going, electricity was introduced for humanity. And he said that he felt it, and he felt the electricity in the air, and it was probably like messing up his nervous system. And
I bet you they mentioned the homie in that book. I wouldn't doubt if they mentioned that guy in that book that I was referring to that I don't remember the name of.
right, and he said that cats feel electricity more than humans. Thus, when there's like an electrical storm, they hide under the couch and they're like feeling more than usual. Or when I turn on the TV, my cat freaks the fuck out. He's like, meow, 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 what's going on? You know, like something's being introduced into this room. It's not like the TV's even playing any sounds yet.
Yeah,
it's just emitting something that the cat's all the time being like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But anyways, we are rolling. Thank you, Congo, for doing my show again. It's so nice to be here with you. We keep on crisscrossing ourselves around. I think it's about to rain on us. Like, what's your attitude about rain falling on us?
If it's drizzling, then I'm with it. But
if it goes hardcore,
if it goes hard, we out of here.
Yeah, let's take a break. So you've been warned. But please tell us where we're at right now.
What's this? Shila Jam in near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yo, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun time.
Yeah, it's a nice little event revolving around Shilajit. Do you know what Shilajit is?
Yeah, Shilajit is a fulvic and humic acid. It's a substance like a resin that forms in the layer of the earth and in rock. I know in India, the thing that inspired people to start using it was that the people who were always feeling tired and like they didn't have enough energy, they was watching these monkeys run back and forth, jump, swing, do all this stuff all the time. And they're like, how do they have all this energy? And one day they watched them climbing down the side of this cliff and scooping out Shilajit and eating it. And they was like, what's that stuff? And they went and tried it and felt like they were made strong. And so Shilajit is known as the destroyer of weakness in that Vedic and Siddha medicine. So Shilajit is one of the most powerful mineral sources in the earth that we can take if we want to take minerals that have been sort of processed by the earth.
Wow. So it's like, because they say, oh, it's got lots of minerals. It's like, okay, cool, minerals are nice, but...
Minerals are crystals. I'm going to tell you a couple crazy things.
Tell me, man.
I had some Shilajit, used it for a while. Then I just had it sitting. You know, I was doing a lot of traveling, wasn't around. Came back home, there were crystals, cubical crystals starting to grow.
Wow.
In the Shilajit, formed out of the Shilajit. And that was the first. I still have that same container somewhere at home. I took pictures of it, so it's documented. I didn't document this second thing. I was putting Shilajit into my smoothie recently, and I had it sort of dripping, a slow drip. It just sort of hangs like taffy, you know. And I had it hanging there over the smoothie so it could drop in. And I began to put my protein powder in, the Sun Warrior protein powder. And as I began to put this powder in, the Shilajit swung towards the protein powder scoop. I took this protein powder scoop over here. It swung towards there. I swung it back. It swung back. I put it over here. It swung. It was attracting and sticking.
Sounds like venom.
It looked just like venom ooze.
Whoa.
It like that stuff. It seemed just like my lady was like, what? She came over there, took a look. She said, you want me to take a video? And I was like, no, it's okay. And I don't know why I said that. I wish I would have, but I haven't tried it again yet, but I'm going to do another experiment with it to see what may come up if it happens again. But the Shilajit was, bang, it was moving all around. And then I tried it with other stuff. I tried the scooper by itself and it didn't do anything. I tried another substance like maca by itself next to it and cacao by itself next to it. But it was something about that protein, the Sun Warrior protein powder I had, made the Shilajit.
It's like, hell no.
No, it was going to
I
it. It
wanted
was
it.
like grabbing it.
Man, this rain seems like it's gonna come on strong now, so let's take a pause.
Yes, I.
Hi, it's your artist friend Chris Dyer, and I'm here to encourage you to tap into the mountain's ancient medicine with the #1 Shilajit distributor in North America. VIBEMEDX Shilajit delivers 84 plus essential minerals and fulvic acid to ignite energy, sharpen clarity, and nourish your vitality. It's ethically harvested and scalar frequency infused for your highest resonance. Whether you choose the resin, tablets, or powder, VIBEMEDX Shilajit is a sacred key merging ancestral Ayurvedic wisdom with modern precision to awaken your inner light and expand your whole experience of being. Salud! And now it's a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, man.
I don't even mind being a little bit wet.
Yeah, it felt good.
It's refreshing. So yeah, before the rain, we were talking about Shila Jam. You're telling me about Shilajit, the medicine.
That's right.
That has brought us together here. And this is the first jam. It's like really small, like 200, 300 people. And it seemed like it's mostly like a community, kind of like a conscious hip hop community that I saw at other events like YAK Fest in Oregon and in Arizona back in 2022. Ankar brought us there, and it seems like a very interesting combination between like crystals and shamanic knowledge of alternative science and Nubian vibes with conscious hip hop, but it's not even about one particular kind of melatonin. And what is this scene? I'm kind of confused. I come and paint for a lot of people in many places, but is this like some kind of event that happens a lot, or is it just a bunch of people that sometimes get together?
I think Shila Jam has happened a few times.
Okay.
And I've heard that it was really dope, but this is probably like the biggest grounds it's been held on from what I hear.
I think he was just throwing jams at his house.
Yeah. And so this is pretty cool.
Shout outs to Ron.
There does seem like, peace to Ron. There does seem like there's some cool decentralized networks forming. It's not organized to the point where we could probably make the most out of it yet, but it seems to naturally be growing to that point that we're sort of forming these intentional, unintentional communities, these effortless effort communities, and they just are popping up here and there based on people's commitment to whatever God put on their heart in relation to earth and how we interact with others and her.
Yeah. It seems like there's a lot of knowledge of mushrooms going around, knowledge of herbs, of, as I said, technologies and crystals. There's lots of workshops. Like half the day is workshops of people sharing their knowledge or their points of views about reality and how to, create conscious community. So it's a really nice ground for people exchanging ideas. It's way less about the party or let's get high or drunk. Though, you might do that too and dance at night, but there's a lot of good alliances being built here.
Yeah, for sure. And like you were saying, so many people have explored fields of interest in depth. I don't call myself an expert, so I usually won't call anyone else an expert, but they have explored and brought really valuable and information that's filled with integrity. You could tell the many people are doing their best to embody and live what they are sharing. And not that I'm judging them where I say, no, you're actually doing your worst, but I say they're doing their best because people are showing up with kindness, compassion, effectiveness in what they're teaching.
Good intentions in general.
And intriguing people, piquing interest so that anyone who hears a little something, they might be able to go down this similar paths of exploration and extract something of value too.
You yesterday were teaching breathwork meditation, correct?
Yeah, I call it psychedelic breathwork. And so I give people various little techniques that help them maintain blissful, psychedelic, energetic states.
All from breathing.
All from breathing.
How's that possible?
Well, breath is the breath of life. And you know that the word spirit is breath, and spiritual, and spirit, inspirar.
Yeah.
It's breath.
Inspirar, sí. Yeah, that's true. But and I believe it, and I have gotten high from breath work a couple times.
Yes.
But I guess what's the science behind it? That most people, if you told them like, dude, I bet you can get high on Aya from breathing for 10 minutes.
Or DMT.
Most people would not believe that.
Yeah, they might not believe it, but they don't have to. Just do the breath with me, and you'll either experience it then, or you won't, and you'll give it another try, and eventually will experience it. Or you won't go for it. But if you go for it, your breath is going to bring you at the very least, some psychedelic microdosy type of states.
Right. I've done some breath work at a retreat, and we were already microdosing like a 0.1 of mushrooms at that retreat. And then we did the breath work, and people were tripping. Like I had this woman like start pointing at me like, "It's Salvador Dali! Oh my God!" And I was myself like in some like angelic white cloud kind of dimension from my breathing. I was like, "Whoa! I haven't visited this place yet." And then this chick is just like full on like yelling that I'm Salvador Dali, which was like extra trippy.
That's why you can't. In the breath work that I share, we're not instructed to share a full session with numerous people at a time.
Okay, that was like 100 people at once.
And so you see how I break down the teaching is we just do these little breaths and then pause a little, go on to the next one, take a break and talk with each other for a moment, tune in. But we're not just having people all laid out breathing, and especially after the mushrooms.
Woo!
After the mushrooms, well, the beautiful thing about these plant medicines and fungi medicines is that they stimulate our breath. They make us want to breathe more. But if we begin to be breathing with a bunch of people, all of their stuff is coming up. And
It's more open.
and if we're overdoing it with all these people, people's stuff gonna jump all around, and so
It's
that's
almost
where
like
a little of that weird stuff probably came from.
interesting. Huh. Cool. Yeah. The more I learn about energy and psychedelics, the more I learn about how we're opening up our energy field and we're more open. So we're almost like bathing in each other's frequencies and we're being more affected and we're affecting others.
That's why shamans or priests or people who are leading the ceremony have a grand responsibility to employ the ritual with the elements. If people are doing Aya or they're doing mushrooms and it's in a group setting, there has to be fire, mantra, some type of support from her there, not us. We always think you get what I'm saying. People think I'm gonna hold the space.
Right.
I'm gonna ground it. No,
An altar.
she's grounds it. She burns it away. She breathes it away and breathes it into us and washes. She's the one.
She's the one who we've given control for a bit. Yeah, there's a lot of psychedelic events I've been going to lately, and I go with my friend Judea, who's a big psychic, and
I connected with her. That where were we?
Basel.
Basel. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all in the same Airbnb, and we did this mushroom event in Denver recently. Shroomski. Give thanks and praises. And she was like kind of like shocked because everybody is like either microdosing or full on dosing on everything, and there's just so much energy. Oh, got you, bitch. There's just so much energy that we're all bathing in each other. And she's like, oh my God, I wish I had a stick of sage right now to really cleanse out the area. I wish we had an altar where we can move the energy out and not be like circulating and bathing in each other's shit.
Yes. So fire does it for us probably more than any of the other elements. Pardon me. Probably more than any of the other elements. Water is great though too. A daily relationship with all those elements does it. But a shaman, you'll see, what do they use? Fire, earth, water, air. Priests, fire, earth, water, air. All traditions everywhere. Fire, earth, water, air. Maybe space, maybe ether too.
Yeah, I feel like when people do say like psychedelics here, there's a lot of nature and trees and open space to kind of like allow the energy to flow without us being overwhelmed by other people's stuff. So yeah, it's, I suppose that's why people take psychedelics at festivals, but I myself don't. When the festival has like hundreds to thousands of people, it's just don't really feel like being psychically
walking
open.
Through the crowd like a lost soul.
Well, just more vulnerable, just more open. And on top of it, a lot of people know me. So then people are talking to me, and I might not be in the mood to talk to a human at that moment.
No, I'll be sweating when I take the mushroom or the peyote. I need the bath. I need to be in the bath because once I start melting, and I need the support of water almost every time.
All right. So going back to breath work, you have been supporting another performer, Pretty Lights, with breath work at his events. I don't know if you're coaching him or holding space for his energy. From what I've heard, he stopped touring because he was overwhelmed by his human experience, perhaps as a famous producer or DJ. And then he came back, and he's calling in his spiritual allies to hold space for him. How has that interaction and that experience been holding space for Pretty Lights?
Oh, it's awesome. I don't want, like I was saying before, I don't hold the space.
No?
But
I'm sure you do. You hold space for me just by being you.
All right, I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to hold some of this space. right now, but I can't. So no, I'm just messing with you.
You and your linguistics.
But really, what I'm saying is, the breath holds the space, the earth holds the space, fire holds the space, water holds the space. I love those things. I have experience with those things, so I sort of am one to encourage those things.
Yeah.
So usually every set, or very often before a set, I'll do breath work with him and the band. And then between sets at the intermission, we'll do some breath work. And it's usually really short because we don't have a lot of time because things are moving fast, and he's somewhat of a freestyle artist. So things are being created on the spot, getting things last prepared for the show. So sometimes it's really, the nerves could get frazzled, and we just take these moments, and it's really helpful. Recently, he had a 2-day festival, and then I shared breath work with the band and crew, but also with the audience, and music with the audience. So that was a great blessing in Buena Vista, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice. So he sounds like a nice guy?
Well, the word nice stems from the word ignorant and wanton. So I won't call him that.
Okay.
But
I didn't know nice was not nice.
Yeah, but not to play on semantics so much, but I'm just sort of a stickler with myself when it comes to certain words. Not against you though, because I know people's intention.
Yeah.
But I would call him such a magnifier of the beauty and talents in others, and a person who not only brings others together to organize something beautiful with him, but that organizing, that's what crystals do. They organize these symmetries with the atoms, and in some way, he's like creating grids, because the people who come out at all of these shows, they're crystal beings that are smiling, hugging, accepting, loving. There's not judging going on. There's not fights. There's no violence. It's just about the pretty lights.
Yeah.
And so it's a really pure experience. And there's healing going on in that community too, based upon him deciding to take up the journey of healing so devotedly.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's great to have like such a positive name in your performance name, like Illuminati Congo. I think it's a positive thing.
It is, but that one can also trigger people.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But pretty lights don't have nothing triggering in it.
Right, unless if you break down the word pretty, and then we're fucked. Let's talk about semantics. You're better known as a hip hop artist, rapper, but up to me, you're a poet, and you've written several books of breaking up symbology and words and kind of like explaining your way of seeing the world, which always fascinates me, and I think you're so smart for recognizing all these patterns. Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me about some words that you feel you're trying to disassemble, reinvent. Like I remember when we saw each other at WOOK Fest, I'd be like, hey, good morning, Congo. And you'd be like, morning is for the dead. I like to say good rising.
No, I didn't say.
But then yesterday, you were like,
I didn't say that. I've never been a grand rising person.
No way. Okay, so maybe somebody around us then.
Yeah, I've always been the person to say good morning is wonderful, because it's great to mourn the dying of our old self. It's the same thing like saying give thanks. Mm-hmm. Like there's some things in the Rasta community I just haven't really, I don't like telling another person to give thanks.
Yeah, it's kind of like an order.
Yeah, I'll say I give thanks. If someone gives me something, I'm not gonna say, give thanks.
Right.
Like, no, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm thanking God in you.
Right, and it might be misunderstood by somebody who's not familiar with how Rasta speak.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I might have confused it if it was you who said good rising and stuff, but I tried to start being like, good rising.
Rasta do, you know, is who introduced that. And, you know, people have introduced ideas like overstanding and understanding. And I sit with those ideas and I appreciate them, but I'm not gonna down understanding, because who's supporting us? Earth, who's standing under, and who has more understanding? Who has more understanding than the earth? It's like, what stands under our brain? The heart. Maybe understanding is this intelligence. It feels like that when I say the word understanding, it feels like I have to come here to understand, because, well, that depends on what I'm trying to understand. If I'm trying to understand a mathematical principle, that may be more in this region. But when we're talking about understanding of each other, understanding of life, understanding of relations, it seems to be a thing here where I must stand under in order to support you best. I don't want to stand over and push you down. Do I want to stand inside of? No.
Overstand you.
Yeah, I want you to be, I don't want to, I want you to be the stance, not me. So my understanding, there is understanding that happens within. I like to think of this as overstanding, understanding, understanding. Or this could be understanding and this one's understanding. You know, your tantien could be the understanding, this could be the understanding, and this could be the overstanding.
Wow, it's almost like a subculture or something in your root chakra. Or...
Well, there's 3 brains according to, there's this brain, then we have neural cells in the heart, and then there's neurals in the solar plexus navel area, and within the whole gut of the biome. So we could be understood as having 3 brains.
We're like octopuses.
Yeah.
Who have brains in every tentacle. Some people say there's a brain in the penis.
You might have one there.
Some only use that one. Hi, we take a quick intermission from this super awesome podcast show for me, your artist friend Chris Dyer, to tell you about Positive Creations, which is my brand I've been doing for over 20 years, where I offer a bunch of fun products for your enjoyment, like clothing for you to rock at your events and art prints for your walls. We got a new swimwear line with bikinis and board shorts, and of course we got skateboards for you to rip all over town, and we got new pashminas that came through, and we also got some rad kicks for you to use in the city. We got dresses and tank tops, and also we got some beautiful cotton t-shirts. Oh yeah, hats to crown yourself in all glory. And of course, my brand new art book. We got coloring books too for you to color and play all over my art. How about that? You like that, Jack? That's all right. So go to positivecreations.net, make sure to buy some stuff, and I give you my ultimate and eternal gratitude. Bless. Yeah, but it's so cool. What's your last book that you wrote?
The last book is Cristo.
Okay.
Qrstu. Well, that's the last one that I put out to the public. I have like 6, 7 books just sitting in my files that I have to edit and go over the final stages of them. But Cristo is about, if you look in the alphabet, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. That's Cristo.
Oh, it's all embedded in order, huh?
Cristo, right there. That's like, what? We're finding
K-R-S-T-U-V,
Cristo,
Christ.
and that's like crystal. It's the fractal. So my relationship with God is I look at God as the Holy Trinity, and this is a fractal. The original source of the fractal is beyond our understanding or our ways of being able to speak about it. But the beauty of nature and geometry is that you have, it explains itself in ways that's simple. You know, you look at man, woman, and child. That's a trinity that forms there. You look at length, width, and depth. Now, I'm not saying that these are perfect examples of the Trinity, but they are fractal expressions that are rooted in that triune nature of God, of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So I'm exploring concepts like that because very often, you know, the Christian symbols are resisted or talked down upon because other traumas that we've experienced related to religion. And the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost was never, or Holy Spirit, it was never about man, male, male. But it's also not about gender at all. It's gender isn't about it. Maybe generation is a part of it. And the thing is, in nature, the male principle is the shooting forth principle, the one that
Things spring.
yeah, it shoots forth. And so, whereas the mother principle is the receiving principle. And the father was very often associated because it's talking about this giving. But also in the Bible, it talks about El Shaddai, which El Shaddai means breast. That's one of the meanings of El Shaddai. Also mountains, mountain peaks, but also it means breast. And it would talk in the Bible about God feeding his people like a mother, you know, supplying them like a mother. So there's, we get caught up in wanting to find what's wrong in the biblical
Wording.
symbolism instead of humbling ourselves and finding what might be right in there. And if we're finding something wrong, take a moment to just look at ourselves and how we might be seeing wrong. That's how I approach it in my faith. But I don't tell other people they have to approach it that way because it's faith. There's something that inspired me to approach it that way. But that takes, if it's ever going to happen in someone else, it's going to take something in them to inspire them to take it that way. Otherwise, meet it where it's at. It'll meet you where you're at. But the book is all about symbols around Christ and around Christianity, like the cross. For example, here's a cross. And you were talking, you asked me about words as well, so I'll get into that as well. So here's a vertical line on the cross. Here's a horizontal line on the cross. So this vertical line can be considered the divine nature. This, the human nature. So this is the God nature. This is the man nature.
Yeah. The intersecting of realities and dimensions.
And it's, yes, and it's one thing. It's the cross. So it's one nature, which is the nature of Christ, the cross, one thing. But it's also this, and it's also this line.
Yeah.
So it's two things, but the two things are united as one. So I came up with a word for that called tunity instead of duality.
Yeah.
Because duality
Has like separation in it.
that's how it feels. Now, a case can be made that the original meaning of duality is the unity of two, because Trinity means the unity of three.
Uh-huh.
So duality just means the unity of the two.
Yeah.
So there's nothing inherently wrong with the idea other than if I say dual. You may think I'm talking about let's pull out guns and shoot each other.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So that's how that implies two opposing things, possibly. Whereas tunity really gives me a clear picture of this and this in unity. Electromagnetism.
Beautiful. So you don't see it as Christ on the cross.
Oh, I sure do.
Okay.
That is
Which is like an example of the surrender, that we're so spiritual that you can even kill my physical body because I'm beyond, right? Like, do you see it that way? They say it was a sacrifice, or is that just all like, dogma?
I see it as people ended up in a weird relationship with Great Spirit, a weird relationship with the Tao, a weird relationship with the Logos.
Because too many humans got in between and trying to define it in ways that separate it from that?
Because our own sin, each and every person's own misplaced wanting to get things, forgiving things, the buyers and the sellers in the temple, who were in the temple trying to sell and buy. So they're trying to give something to get something, and get something to give something. And they're in the temple. They had to get kicked out by Jesus, according to the scripture. And what happened is we ended up in that by our own bargaining, by our own duality and dueling. And the Tao, Great Spirit, was like, I need to come, but I'm not coming to murk anything other than death and hell itself. I'm not coming to destroy anything other than death and hell. I'm coming to share love, heal, and be the most humble. And when he did that, when the Great Spirit took shape, when the Word of God, the Logos, took shape and walked amongst us, we killed him, according to the story. If you don't believe it, that's fine. We just take it like a Star Wars story and think about it.
It's an archetype.
You can. I have faith in it, but take it as an archetype. If it's like, oh, that's out of this world.
She walked in water.
Yeah, if it sounds all weird, no one's trying to convince you of anything.
No, it's an individual belief.
Yes, but you can still take the story and think about, well, what if Great Spirit, what if the Tao is a personality and really felt the pain of the people, like trying to figure it out. They forgot the way. They were filled with misplacement. They couldn't hit the target. So God came, and instead of just tell you what to do, he lived it, got murked for it, and then resurrected after he went to hell and destroyed all death and hell itself. I think about all the stories in the world that I've heard, and for me, this is the most sublime one because it relates to me. I don't know what Darth Vader or Anakin or Luke Skywalker did for me, per se. Maybe you could see it as, they were heroes in their own journey and journey for a certain galaxy. But Jesus did this for everyone with humility and didn't kill anyone except death and hell. So beautiful to me. So that's why I settle there. But I don't mean to ever come off like someone who say, well, if you don't see it like me, you're not in tune with the one God,
right,
who is also three.
That's what kind of like ruins it for people, because like, say like, I love Jesus. I love the
Mm-hmm.
idea of Jesus. I
Mm-hmm.
connect with his energy. I'm not very Catholic anymore or
Yeah.
even Christian. I won't go to church anymore, though I did a lot as a kid because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to connect with God, but I
Yeah.
didn't know where. And the adults tell you go to church, and
Yeah.
I didn't find him there too much.
Yeah.
But I always connected with Jesus, and it almost seems like the church and the religion and the Vatican and all the structures built upon him kind of like ruins it for most people, but we got to kind of like unbury the essence of it and go back to connect with that enlightenment. It's not even how Jesus is about the Christ consciousness that he
Right.
was open to. It seems like since he was a kid, because he got that story when he was 12 years old and he's schooling the elders. I don't know, it's a beautiful thing, and I think it will return to Earth, perhaps as an individual or through one, or maybe a few, or maybe all of us. It's a consciousness awakening that I believe will happen in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see everything I just threw at you? And do you believe Jesus will come back in our hearts? And, do we have to let the dogma ruin it for us, or can we just bring back Jesus, Alpha Blondie styles into our hearts without any shame that we're like, taking on a team and actually not even pushing away the other, religions. I know you get down with, Hindu vibes and Rasta vibes and, at the end, God is God and God is everything.
Yes. I also I honor religion. What I don't like is sin. I don't like my own sin. I don't like my own missing the mark. I accept myself and love myself, and I accept God's love through, even though I may miss the mark so often. But it's our sin and has nothing to do with a religion.
What's your definition of sin, since you're so specific to words?
Missing the mark. It's there's a target that we are to be aiming for, and we will often miss it.
Is that target an individual target, or is it the same target for all of us? It's like all of our goals to go back home to
Only God knows the target for you, and those targets will change over time. You start hitting a certain target. Maybe it's God set up a new target for you over time. Is how I see it.
And your specific human path.
Yes, and religion.
These horseflies are getting my legs. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
They're just coming and taking out chunks of my ankles. Yo!
So that's I see the benefit and value in religion. I see the benefit and value of people questioning it and going away from it. I see the value of both. But the problem for me, and I don't think for anyone, has ever really been religion. It's been sin. It's been hurting of others. It's been our greed, our selfishness, our anger, our jealousy, our lack of compassion, lack of patience.
Do you still sin, Congo? You seem like such a chill,
yeah.
wise person.
Yeah,
I could not imagine you being any of the things you just mentioned.
Oh, I miss the mark all the time. And even if there was a time when somehow, by God's grace, I was hitting the target all the time, I would still want to ask God for mercy every day. Even though God gonna give it to me whether I ask or not.
Mercy from what? From being flawed human?
From the times I may have shunned loving more, from the times I may have shunned giving more, from the times I may have closed up to hearing God and hearing my conscience.
Well, you forgive yourself, so you also fine with it too, right? You accept
Oh,
yourself
I
for your
forgive myself, but the thing is, how do our actions impact others? Like, they go on around and reverberate. So even though I forgive myself, does that mean that all of the action even though God forgives me, does that mean that the result of our actions doesn't reverberate? It still does. And so every day every day praying, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner, is important for me, just because it helps put me in the mindset that feels most healthy for me. Many people won't say, don't call yourself a sinner. No, you don't want to affirm that.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Uh-huh.
and I get where they're coming from.
Right.
But that's one of the most important things, is to like recognize we missed the mark.
Yeah.
And it could hurt others. It could hurt ourselves.
I know. I hurt people all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't mean to.
Yeah.
I'm just, I am how I am, and I'm a ball of energy, and then I'm hurting people, that I may know or not, and mostly it's the people who don't know me who get hurt because they don't understand why I act that way. Until you get to know me, it's like, oh, Chris is just Chris. But you can step on people's toes all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to really learn to not miss the mark. But it's just so difficult whenever I've got different perceptions, and I gotta almost like walk on eggshells so that I don't really use the wrong words that could trigger somebody.
Yeah,
and they don't know my intentions. Like,
Yeah. And
I don't know if you want some of this, or
no,
you're gonna
thank
get
you. I'm just keep preparing some, but it's
Yeah.
words.
Ooh, almost got it.
Yeah, we just want to have a reverence for the Lord. Some people will call it fear of the Lord. They say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it's not about fearing
A punishing God.
some wrath coming down on us. It's more so fearing that we are not caring, sharing, and seeing God in the least amongst us. That we're not showing up and carrying our cross. Also, it has to do with just being in awe and wonderment of like this whole thing. Like, that isn't necessarily fearful how people explain it when people talk about fear, but when I consider just, you've done Aya,
Yeah.
was there ever a time where the sheer magnificence of it all was a little fearful?
Oh, hell yeah. A lot of it. But what Aya does is that she separates the fear enough from the observer. So I got to take a step back as the observer. And I'm observing fear, and my body is feeling the emotion, and I'm like checking it out, being like, ooh, what's this? Where's it coming from? Where's it lodged in my body?
Yeah.
Do I have to identify with it, or it's kind of like, just like a fluid that's going through my body, and it's informing me certain things, but I don't have to jump into the fluid and become the fear or
Right.
act upon it.
Right. And so they also say perfect love casts out all fear, and many of the saints from like the ancient times in the desert, they said that they never tell a person to abandon the fear of the Lord, but they say eventually it turns into the love of the Lord. And so understanding that, like, because that's what gives us sort of like some ethics, you know what I'm saying? Not, it's already in our heart, but that's your conscience. Fear, listen to it. Listen to the Lord in your conscience. That's what we're talking about here. There's so many ways to understand how the fear of the Lord can produce wisdom.
I try to avoid fear.
Yeah.
Not that I'm forcing myself not to have fear. Like, if I have fear, I have fear. What I'm trying to do is surrender when the fear comes, and when I'm sober, not on Aya or any psychedelic, and just observe it. And if it's becoming overwhelming in my body, just like breathe into it or find a calm space, or maybe even do some rapé. I know that if I do some rapé, it just kind of like nukes everything out. And then I go back to like groundation and it calms things down. So I always got that POW, reserve button for anxiety.
A clear distinction I'd like to make too about this fear of the Lord. It is more in the tone of reverence, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, of awe, like,
Yeah.
oh, what?
It's like when
What?
Krishna
Oh my.
showed Arjuna his face.
It's similar to that.
Yeah.
But it's like that when we think about the least amongst us, when we think about the bugs flying around, when we think about the person who asks for help, and then we go, oh, you know,
I
let
personally
me,
don't fear God.
yeah,
And I respect you if that's your
yeah,
way of bowing down to something so much bigger than us. I have been scared by God when I've seen different faces. I'd say doing Bufo was probably the scariest roller coaster I've ever taken.
right.
And I couldn't sleep that night when I took it, just in like, sheer fear of dying from being absorbed into the absolute, because
No,
it's so far from this version of me that it is quite sharp of a realization. So that fear
would
I surely have. I'm not ready to be like thrown. I would not do Bufo anymore. I don't need to be thrown into that level of the building that quickly.
right, and so that is a fear of the Lord, and it leads to wisdom.
Okay,
It's
why? Why does it lead to wisdom?
because you're like, hey, I don't need to do that. I got,
But
I,
how is that wisdom? Maybe I should like build more balls and face the maximum face of God.
do you, is
I
that
don't know, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe
right?
it doesn't really matter. And
Ask,
I've learned to accept myself as like, you know what? I can't go that sharp. I'm sensitive. I don't want to break my avatar.
the Lord is love. Like, there's no reason to fear love, but there is a reason to fear if we don't listen to love's call. There is a reason to fear that, and I'm not talking about a fear like, oh, did I do something wrong? Oh, is God gonna get me? I'm talking about, oh, dang, I really want to serve God in this person, but somehow I'm letting other things get in the way. But my fear of the Lord, my fear of not answering God in this person, my fear of not showing up for God in this animal is too strong to let me abandon them. So it's, for some people, they're not going to use the word fear for that. That's why I'm explaining that revere is one of the better words that's used. But in the Bible, where it says fear the Lord, and going back to our original conversation about when we read the scriptures, instead of me trying to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna fear, I find what it means. One, go to the Hebrew and see that it means reverence or to revere, but also if you have humility and see someone as a great master, you will fear act fucking shit up in their presence. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to, someone invites you to their banquet hall, and it's this beautiful place, and you just sitting there knocking shit down,
Right.
talking crazy, you're
Yeah,
drunk,
yeah,
you fucked up,
yeah.
and you don't have no fear and respect for the dude who invited you.
So fears is kind of like a natural boundary to not step on people's toes, which is natural. So let's say you did step on a toe. How much guilt do you allow yourself? Do you use the guilt to like make sure you don't do that misstep again? Or should we not entertain guilt
I
whatsoever?
don't think the guilt is there. Jesus destroyed the guilt for us.
So you never feel guilty about anything?
I'll feel remorse if I do something and I'll feel repentant if I do something that is not for my benefit, something where I'm ignoring love. I'll feel in my conscience, I'll feel some conviction, my stomach, in my heart, in my mind, and I'll want to adjust and change things and address the situation in the best way I can. But I like, there's words like guilt and sorry that I don't use that much. I'm not gonna say, oh, I feel guilty. Oh, I'm sorry, because they don't I'll say I feel apologetic, or I feel, uh, I beg for your forgiveness. I feel remorseful.
What's the difference between guilt and remorse? Like maybe we're getting into like English language specifics, but you know,
Yeah,
I'm Spanish speaker first, so maybe I never learned the difference.
yeah. So Moors are ways of connecting to people.
Morse?
Morse, or I'll say remorse is where we're consciously, uh,
Aware of our wrongdoing?
yes, and we're contemplating it, and we're feeling like we went in the wrong direction, or we went in a direction that wasn't best, or we were treating someone less than the best way we can, and treating ourselves less than we can, didn't show up, didn't, whatever. We feel like, oh, there's the regret too. Like some might say it's similar to regret
Remorse and regret.
and guilt. They
It's almost
all
like remorse is regret, but with a little bit of a sting. Like, how do you describe feelings, anyways? Like, how have we assigned all these
Well,
different specific words to feelings and agree
go
that it means the same?
right. Going to the etymologies of them is important to understand the distinctions of them. But without us doing that in depth right now, I could say that for me, regret and guilt feel much heavier than remorse. Remorse feels like we were sitting with our conscience, and we are now conscious that what we did was not our best,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to
Improve.
improve.
Yeah.
Regret is just, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah. And
I,
then a
I,
feeling of like, ah, shit, I suck.
yeah, I wish I did this. Oh well.
Yeah.
And guilt is like, oh dang, I'm no good.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like, you know, I'm guilty of this crime, of
hmm
this. Yeah, definitely there's a different vibe to each word. And we never really stopped to observe these words too much. We just kind of like learned them as a kid and we carry on and we never really stopped to be like, am I guilty? Am I sorry? I say sorry a lot. I'm Canadian
Yeah,
too, so
yeah.
it's almost part of our vocabulary to throw it in every second word.
You sorry motherfucker.
But it's because we're so polite, you know, and
Yeah,
we want to
yeah.
make sure that we're not stepping on anybody's toes or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how does all this breaking down of words, symbols, and meanings get into your music? Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about hip hop. How does your patterned view of words and symbols influence your music and your rap in a way that kind of like make you unique?
Maybe it does. I like to, you know, as you see what we're talking about, I think about words differently sometimes in order to connect with them, and it brings me to, you know, I do a lot of etymology stuff, and it shows up in my lyrics very often. It can even inspire songs, and actually inspires many other MCs. I listen to a lot of people's lyrics who, you know, they've read my books and listened to the things I talk about, and then they weave some of these things even into their songs. And it's really cool to see some of these ideas just flowing out there. I don't necessarily set out to be like, I'm gonna break down this word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna, KRS-One the meaning of this
Yeah.
this thing for you.
Yeah, not in the song, even though it might happen for a bar or two in a simple way, but for the most part, a lot of my wordplay and word contemplations, they don't come out super literally and explicitly in my process. I hear them sometimes, like one place I said, our attention and will is our magic wand, and with it we shall attract all that we want. So like the wand and the want have a play together. The wands are
Spell casting devices.
for what the magician wants. So the wants and wand, there may be a connection there. So I think it'll come up here and there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. How's what projects have you done lately? I know, didn't you do like a collabo with somebody from Wu-Tang, and I think you did a collabo with Pretty Lights, and you're always putting so much music out.
So I put a little EP out over RZA Beats recently. RZA is the producer and the abbot of Wu-Tang Clan.
That's awesome.
You could check that out. It's called I See Scrolls All Around Me. And then DJ Drez is actually scratching on there too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And Pretty Lights, I actually did the title rap song for Yandon. So Yandon was his festival that he did in Buena Vista I was telling you about, and he asked me to do a song over one of his beats, and he was playing it out there. We got a song called Baba G we did that might come out eventually. So yeah, I've been working with a lot of cool people. I have a couple new albums, like full albums already done, just in post-production, getting sealed up, and a couple guest verses in. So those will be coming out within the next month or two. Probably when this drops, one of those albums would already be available or coming.
Nice.
Shortly.
Well, let me know if you ever need some more artwork for covers and stuff.
Yeah, I shall. Thank you, man. It was so generous and loving.
When we did that NFT record.
Yeah, Stupid Fresh Wisdom.
Which is a great record.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people have resonated with that one. It's like very Tao and in Zen concepts.
Very chill through, very very Tao Te Chin kind of vibes. I love it. Talking about NFTs, where you at with NFTs and crypto? Obviously, you last time I interviewed you in 2021 was right before we did the Galactic Gang party. At the time I interviewed you, the Galactic Gang had not even been sold out yet. We're in that week, middle of it of it being sold, and we didn't know if it was going to sell out or not. And we threw that big party in Denver that you performed at, and that was like so special for me.
For me too.
And I stood up there and I was like, all right, everybody, like, I don't know if this thing's going to sell out. I hope it does for the sake of all you people who've invested into it. But either way, like, I hope that whatever we've collected here becomes a beautiful community and something positive, regardless of like if it goes up or down. And then later that week or soon after that party, it sold out, and then it went up and people made profits, and then all of NFTs went down, and now whoever held perhaps like lost financially for not selling at the right time. but the community never went away. Like,
Right, and the thing is, you don't have to even worry about that price. You have a one of one Chris Dyer that was built in conjunction with, you know, the machine elves and the computers, and was a part of the time when NFTs were first coming out. So it's a part of that wave. It's a historical thing, and like it's probably one of the NFT projects that's sitting there at a price where if you scooped a bunch now, once NFT season came back around, it might be some value there. But beyond that, it's just cool because you have a Chris Dyer original that no one else has.
Yeah, and I allow people to make products from it too.
Yeah, I've used it for album covers. I used actually I jacked someone's image for the remix.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're all very like we're honored.
Promoting,
you know?
promoting.
It's not like you know whatever. It's a
just
community, and we help each other.
And the thing is, me doing that.
Yeah.
If people are familiar, like, wait, that one's the cover of on Galactic Gang remix song. You know,
It's
they
more
might
valuable.
they might want to buy it from the homie. So it just increases value to the real owner. NFTs are cool. Like people who don't want to explore outside of what they already know about economics and finance, it might seem like a scam. All of crypto might seem like a scam to them, but if Federal Reserves don't seem like a scam to them, we just gotta
that's the biggest scam of them all.
Let's stop
and
the
it's in our
conversation.
faces,
I'm just
too.
walking the other way because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, like I'm so happy that not only you supported me in the launch, you bought some. Yeah, I think you minted some.
Oh yeah. I minted maybe two. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so stoked, and I was like so happy to have you there at the launch. It was the first party we did together, and from now we've done like several, and. You made the Galactic Gang song for us, and that meant so much to the whole community, and you did it really well. Like, you got the lyrics that really resonated with my art. Check out the Galactic Gang song. What's it called?
Galactic Gang.
Just Galactic Gang on if you check it out on Spotify or whatever. And
the remix.
And
the
then there's a
Gang
remix.
remix.
And it's just, when you play it for the members, when you, like, say you just performed at my book launch in Miami last Basel, and all the Galactic Gang members were there because we all shared together like an Airbnb, and you catered to the Airbnb, and the Galactic Gang members were all stoked to get to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And then you sang the song. It means a lot to people, and you're reinforcing this community and shows like, yeah, this is something. This is not just like, oh, we made some JPEGs and we dipped out and fuck you. It's like, no, we're trying to like collect people here, perhaps people who are on the computer and do crypto and are open-minded to new ways of finance. But I'm all about like, but let's get together in real life. Like, let's get together at Basel. I also invite them over for my my birthday breakfast. So I do a birthday breakfast every 3rd of March or days around it. And we just Galactic Gang members go out and eat together, and it's so fun. And then I invite them over to my house, and I'll throw a house party with the rest of my friends, and you know, just share my world a little bit in that opportunity. And I think that's the best utility of them all, you know? Like, you really want to go out and hang out on a yacht with a bunch of snobby rich people? Like, is that what you're looking for?
I don't know, want to be on a yacht or a cruise. Don't lock me up on that.
No, like all these NFTs collection were all about like how much money I got. I'm like the yacht board monkey, or I'm the like zombie in a penthouse, or I don't know, like maybe that attracts some people. For sure, everybody likes money. I'm not saying like no to money, but like that's not the main intention why I would do anything. It's almost kind of like, I don't know, changes the code and changes the vibe. I don't want to like judge anybody else's movement or hustle, but I'm happy that people resonated what I had to offer. And there's not that many psychedelically minded NFT collections out there.
No, unless they was just cash grabs.
Yeah, but you know, we're still there. If NFTs come back, cool. If they don't, I'm still gonna hang out with these nice people I've met, and including yourself. And crypto, I still believe in crypto. I still
Yeah, man.
believe we could all just kind of like invest into something that might go up faster than putting your money in a bank.
Oh yeah, there's only $4 trillion market cap in crypto as of today. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's something to believe in. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I think God is the only thing to believe in. But what to your point, uh, the the crypto is a wonderful tool to support getting out of the Federal Reserve.
Mm.
Some of it has been captured, and they're going to attempt to weave a lot of it in. But it was started by cypherpunks, crypto punks, who was like, yo, we want to have our own communities outside of authoritarian, totalitarian, statism, all of the ways that people try to control populations, stifle their ways of exchange, stifle their ways of communication. Uh, Crypto allows people to get paid from their data instead of these big corporations. Crypto allows people to transact with each other privately through Monero and things of the like, which is important. Yes, people are going to use it for bogus too, just like they do cash, just like they do anything.
Hmm.
But because people use something for bad, does that mean to get rid of it or to not endorse it? No, it just means to attempt to be more of the example of good and more of a solution for good. That's all we can do. We can't fight out the evil. We just got to be more loving, more present, and more humble. Recognize our own ways that we stray.
Hmm. Well, beautiful. I always really appreciated that from you, Congo, because you're just such a like an interesting mix between like urban, hip hop, Rasta, mystic, etc. But you also fuck with crypto, and a lot of these people from this festival, like yesterday, was somebody like teaching people how to empower themselves
Yeah,
with
that's my
crypto.
good brother Amethyst Flame.
Hmm. Yeah, I love when everybody's just trying to help each other.
I think
You
he's
know.
Galactic. He might be Galactic Gang too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know if I got to speak with him. Dude with a beard, right?
Yeah, I'll try to intro you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So last time I interviewed you was no, November of 2021. Very potent year. If you guys haven't seen that interview, check it out. I can't remember what number it is, but it's one of the early episodes, and it was middle of all the things happening in that year, and you had some opinions that at the time probably were not the usual opinions, but now many years later a lot of truths came up, and a lot of people, we've been bamboozled on a bunch of topics, not just the COVID topic or the injections or whatever was going on. I also want to say that I also appreciated your song They Live. That was the only song, especially in hip hop, which I was very surprised because, in hip hop and Rasta, we've always been rebellious. We've always like observed society and Babylon and be like, yo, you're misstepping here and back off. And see no or very few musicians come up and straight up say like, this shit's whack. And don't you see all of this
Yeah.
falsity happening in our eyes?
Yeah.
And that was not a popular time to say that. Like you played it at the Galactic Gang launch, and you're like, I know this might, step on some toes, but I gotta say it how I see it. And now I'd say that song aged really well. And please go to Spotify and listen to the song They Live, so we don't have to break down what the song says and have YouTube, block us or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you observe that era we were sitting in then, and how things have moved along towards where we sit right now in mid 2025? So much has moved.
Yeah, a lot of things have transpired since then. There, there seems to be a lot of evidences that say it was it wasn't what we were being told. Um, but I haven't had anybody who was like sort of the other opinion than me come to me and say, "Hey, you you were right. We did the it's came out. We found out that
Immunity, natural immunity actually is a
yeah,
real thing.
yeah, I don't think that many people who I don't know, maybe it's their pride, maybe they realize they made a mistake and just don't want to say anything, or maybe they don't think they've made a mistake. So I I'm not sure that so many people have came to that reckoning in my sphere, but it does feel like there's a lot of people who are that was a catalyst for them to come into a new way of thinking and moving
Mm.
about. And I don't have any much anecdotal things about it, but I do. It does seem that way when I look on the media, when I hear conversations with people. It seems like there is more momentum going into understanding our terrain, our mental environment, our physical environment, and how that affects virome or virus, which might not even be a real thing. One of my favorite physicians who got deplatformed and removed from, got his medical license removed during those times, Dr. Andrew Kaufman,
Hmm.
he has information along with a few other diligent physicians that say virus is not even a real thing. So,
Be careful with your words. I had like already a video removed from YouTube before for somebody entertaining that not that I'm saying that you're wrong or that you shouldn't
yeah,
talk. I'm just
yeah.
thinking of the platform we put this out. What was this Australian dude I interviewed in Mexico in Acapulco, and he was Max Egan. And it was a beautiful interview, and he was
Mm-hmm,
just breaking
mm-hmm,
it down. It's like, people, you gotta wake up. This
mm-hmm,
doesn't exist. This is a reality. This
mm-hmm.
is what they want. And that was an interview that got removed
Yeah,
quite quick.
yeah. So,
And,
so that's what I'm saying. This is what this physician says,
mhm.
and some others have found. We're just saying what people have found in uh, what their
Discoveries or
research.
experiments I've brought.
Hmm. And I study it all. To be real, I'm not here to believe anything that people say about that stuff. I'm just here to, if it comes into my field, process it, and just like our immune system, or our the immune function of our body, it is just there to process what comes in and make sure that it's either good for us or that it's getting uh, eliminated.
Hmm.
And that is what w- I like, how I like to approach information now in the information age. Uh, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like uh, more rootsy people um, got their own ways to keeping their health, and they deserve to do that. And you know, it was just like a really abrasive few years, and we moved past it. Like, I got no negative emotions to anybody, but it did derail my life. I did move away from Canada, and I didn't want to, and
Mm,
it took years to like integrate into a new country
yeah.
and move and all this stuff just to find a place where I didn't feel so, you know, feel like a criminal.
Yeah.
I felt like a criminal, and I couldn't live in Canada anymore. And I love Montreal. Really, it broke my heart to leave it. I was crying. I owned my apartment. I was by the park. I
Yeah,
loved my
you
friends.
had your little setup.
But I didn't want to do it, and I just felt like the walls were closing on me, and it became unbearable. And yeah, and then it was a blessing in the end. You know, it moved me to a more beautiful place. I love being in Florida now, and got a house and a yard and sun every day and a beautiful new partner. And like there were blessings on the other side of this movement. And I think so many people have gone through their dark night of the soul through these years. Be careful, your microphone might get buried in there. We all had our dark night of the soul these last years, and some are really right in the muck of it, because you know, the sooner you tackle your demons, the easier, you know, the sooner you get out of it. Hopefully, though it always seems to come back.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a lot of good and bad energy got moved around, and now we're getting to a level of craziness in our world that it's like it's intensifying, both in the things happening in the world, in our lives, in the energy I feel in my body, the solar flares hitting us up. It almost seems like our consciousness is waking up more and more. How do you see where we're at right now?
Right now, well, right now I'm here. And here and now, this is what I see, this nature, and you and us being able to commune in this type of way. And I've seen a lot of these things take shape. I don't know how much these things were going on definitely before it happened, but I think there's even a deeper appreciation for these things, grassroots, decentralized type of festivals, ones that are a little more intimate and accessible, more family-like. I think there's a mycelium type of network forming amongst like these communities. You brought up YAK Fest. That's more of dabbing, cannabis. Had the conscious hip hop because the brother loves that up there. So he involved that. And so that connects here because many people who were there all the way out in, where were we?
That was Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
There's, me and you were there and we're here. There was other people as well. And so you see these communities all over connecting, meeting up. And I think what's taking place is maybe it's like new, not just community, but new nations are being formed. But we have new ways to operate as nations now, since due to technology. And I think it's some of these kids that are coming up are going to have some genius ideas of how to organize these networks, so that possibly it could be more officially like a nation, more officially a.
What do you refer by nation? Like a community?
Yes, we're talking about a community, but
or like a tribe?
Talking about a tribe, but nation implies that there could be greater organization. It implies that we have our own currency. It implies that we have our own sovereignty.
Right.
And I think things are forming like that. We're watching these other governments start to fall apart all over. It's just all
because
garbage.
It's built on lies and pain. And it sucks the souls of everybody to no stopping. It's almost more and more and more, and people get squished more and more at the bottom. It's just so unbalanced.
Yeah, and so they're destroying themselves. And They they may try to adapt. They are trying to adapt. Some of them may still exist because there's going to be people who opt for that. This is too fringe. This is too unsure. Things like that are taking place in our communities that are may become a nation, or it could become something else. These are just ideas that I'm saying uh, because it seems like we're moving in more of a collective but decentralized way. These eco-village communities, these intentional communities all around, I think there's like these tunnels that are starting to connect. Maybe not literal
It's like
underground.
a subterranean culture. That's what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen on Aya. It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
we will survive like some kind of like ant subterranean world, but it's not like a little physical subterranean. It's almost like an
Mm-hmm.
alternative reality. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
what they mean, that realities are splitting up, and those who like radiate a certain frequency or vibration can create a positive future and
Mm-hmm.
timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that's the majority of humanity. Hopefully
Yes.
all of them, but like we all, decide what
Yeah.
we vibrate, I suppose.
Everyone gonna come to it eventually. It's
Yeah.
just like because it is what we are, but it uh, it just takes integrity and humility. That's what I'm learning for myself. Uh, the more humble I am, the more I can learn from you, the more I can learn from her, the more I can read the Bible and not try to change it, the more I can uh, hear another person's perspective that's totally different from mine and still fear the Lord and be in awe of their way that they're communing with the divine. It's like certain qualities I see are taking root in our communities that will help get us through the tumult. Uh,
Like what?
uh, People are learning how to bring their gifts, but without imposing them.
Hmm. Offerings.
Yes, yes, and we're learning how to edify each other with where we're at without seeing where anyone's at as lower or
Hmm.
lesser, or they need to get to where I am or anything like that. People,
Everybody's got their own path.
yes, and many times people say that all paths go to the same place. Maybe they do,
Hmm.
or maybe all of the paths are the place.
Hmm.
Maybe when we get to that place, in my father's house is many mansions, and we're all gonna be in different places inside that place too, and we could come visit each other's little place as well.
I've been told that what we're living is a memory, and that we're already at the end of time, and we already finished this whole creation thing,
Yes.
and then we just can inject ourselves at any point, at any time. Maybe we're already in enlightenment, and we decide to like zap in here to experience this conversation right now.
It's a cool concept. That's a cool meditation and contemplation.
Uh huh.
I, I leave an idea like that as that
Yeah.
because it's speculative.
Yeah. It's hard to know.
Yeah, but if you want to, if somehow having faith in that, like, really brings you to that place where the most important things start showing up more in your life, like patience, kindness, clarity, charity. You know what I'm saying? Giving of oneself for another. If those things start showing up, but this is your way of looking at things, then somehow you're in the right step. You know what I mean? But but if other things show up, you know what I mean, like none of this is real. Why do I why do I share love to anyone? Love is fake. You know, sometimes we'll we'll make up weird
Sometimes,
simulation ideas.
right, the whole simulation theory, if we want to call it that, kind of makes you less interested in playing the video game if you think it's fake. I don't think it's fake. I think it's as real. It's the most real. It's the most physical. These fucking bugs are biting my ankles nonstop the whole interview, and you're
No,
saying some
Chris.
really wise things.
Mind
And it's,
over matter, Chris.
but
No bugs are biting you.
it's not even a bite. It's
It is just
chomp.
energy. It's just energy taking shape and making it think, making you think that it's biting you, Chris. It's not really biting you. That's how someone would say. And it's like, they're not really bombing you in Palestine. Terrorists aren't really blowing up innocent people in Israel. They're not really fighting. You know what I'm saying? People just empty everything with that and think that that's cool. And
What's that called? Is that like toxic positivity or
nihilism, solipsism. Some of these ideas can enter into
like if reality is fake and we're just playing virtual reality, it doesn't really matter what we do, including the negative things, because it's just a bunch of experiences. Which I do believe God wants to have all the experiences, and us are rejoicing on the other side of reality to be able to be the villain and the hero and everything in between. I think it's a cool experience. I never want to lose the passion in life and my drive, and I believe that I
and
do
your curiosity.
yeah, and I do have dictation on my life and my action. It's not predisposed. Even if it was a memory, at no point I do not get to choose my reality and what I do with every second.
Right.
So it's not a negative thing. And it's like, if it is a simulation, it's a simulation of God, and it's made out of God, magic, vibrational power. And
grace.
what a great experience to have. That's so
Yeah.
cool. It doesn't bum me out. It doesn't disconnect me. Though sometimes when I've gone to the other side of reality on DMT and come back, I'll be at the airport and be like, oh, this is just illusion. But it once again, it cheers me up. It's like, oh, cool. Like, how fun that I'm playing the video game. And let's just be a radiating ball of love if that's truly what I am on the other side of reality.
Yeah, yeah. And an illusion is different from delusion. And illusion is just seeing that things aren't as they appear to be. Delusion is believing in that illusion. Delusion is when you believe the illusion. Illusion is just the happening of.
Yeah. It's using your imagination.
You can say that because it's connected to the word illumination, and very often things we illuminate in our mind are when ideas or the imagination, creative processes of the mind are coming into play. That is also illustration, which you do. And how do you do that? Through imagination. And Ilu is also light. It's a name for God as light. El, Allah, Elo, Elohim, Ilu, illumination, Elomination, Elominati, Elohiminati.
But it's still ill.
Ew.
Which is sick, which is negative perhaps, but we give it a positive connotation. Like when I say that shit's sick, that's good. And I know it's good. I don't have to let a quote unquote negative word be actually negative if the energy I put behind it is a positive one. That's what I like about your symbols. It's like I, ill, Nati, Congo.
You, me,
Yeah.
you and me.
Right. No, there's so many like nice symbols in that. What's your relationship with psychedelics these days?
When was the last time I did any psychedelic? I don't even remember. Besides the breath, I use cannabis and tobacco regularly, and that's mainly for my breath support and the CBD, THC support through my endocannabinoid system, and for for the benefits of the tobacco and also to commune with Great Spirit through the smoke. Uh, when it, I like cactus a lot.
Oh yeah.
I like peyote a lot. I have some growing. I guess I'm just anticipating it budding enough that I can receive, partake until I maybe receive some from another place. But the Lord puts the stuff in. The Lord's always giving me mushrooms. People all love to give me
I
mushrooms.
just gave you some at the beginning of the show.
Right. And so sometimes they get ate, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Very often I'm giving them to someone else
Yeah.
when they give them to me.
Same.
Not that I don't like it. I need a certain amount of time with nobody around when
Yeah.
I do it, and to be in the bathtub, and I don't have that time. I need like
You got 4
8
kids, right?
hours where I know it's gonna be nobody around, and
Yeah.
I don't have to serve them.
Mm.
And not that I can't serve on a little microdose, but I get microdosing every day off the breath. Like I come out the bathtub, my lady's like, "What the heck?" You know, I'm like, "Whoa," you know what I'm saying? Every day.
That's so cool, man. Well, that's great. You can do it naturally. That's so much more healthy.
I won't say it's more healthy, but I understand your point. Maybe it is. Maybe it
I
is.
don't do psychedelics all the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a price to pay, to play,
Yeah.
and it requires a lot of time, and
Mm-hmm.
you also don't want to be disrespectful to these portals and entities and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna be like on the other dimension all the time. It's like, no, like you gotta function
They
in
be
this
like,
life.
"Man, here this nigga again, man. You need
Yeah, yeah.
take your ass back home, bro."
Right. So, but sometimes it is nice to like do something to get a reset and
Yeah.
cleanse out a little bit any episodes you might be
Yeah,
carrying.
they like are breathing guides for me. That's how they have become in my life. Where in most cases, when they just help me breathe and really on that exhale, just on that exhale, they really teach me how to let go. Because I just take that breath in and they help me just melt every exhale. Every time I exhale, I'm melting.
Yeah, great lyric. How's that? How's the new kid? You got 4 kids and now you got a brand new baby.
Little Yahanaku, she's so cute and bubbly and squishy and gummy. Just in laughs almost all the time, plays all the time, wants to dance. If I say slam dunk, she'll take a ball and slam it into whatever's around that
How
she
old
could
is she?
slam it in. 10 months.
Uh-huh.
The day before I was leaving, she took her first 5 steps. It
Aw.
was so cool. I was so happy because it's like, I seen her take maybe a 1, 2, 3, but that it wasn't as impressive as that 3 as the 5 she did. And I to get a chance to see it right before I left, I was like, oh good, I didn't miss this. You know what I'm saying?
Aw.
Then my son Yantra, he was in the planes when you came. He started off with trains, got into planes. You drew a plane.
What do you mean, like he's into?
He loves vehicles,
He loves
but
vehicles.
trains were his main
What's his age?
thing. He's 7th level.
Okay, yeah.
You came through, drew a plane. We still got that little plane there, but he went back to trains now, and I'm so happy he did. For some reason, when he introduced us to the world of steam trains, and it's a very relaxing world, like the sound of the tracks, the the iron, the history. It's so much more, for me, fulfilling to hear him and converse with him about those things than the planes for some. But I would do that too. And he loves to get into vehicles, conversations. Sometimes he'll talk to AI about, just ask him everything about
Wow.
technical stuff related to planes and
Wow,
trains.
that AI is like the mega encyclopedia for a kid.
It could be a good teacher, and is in. I just continuously remind him what we're dealing with. It's just like a
Yeah.
search engine that is able to gather this information.
And it might not even be correct.
It might not be correct. Always be wary. If there's something that sounds weird, bring it up to me. And remember that anything you see in media, it's probably not correct.
I wonder if the encyclopedias we had as kids had incorrect stuff in them as well.
Oh, they sure did. They sure did. But then if you get really old ones, if you can find different information in different encyclopedias and different law dictionaries and dictionaries of different times, words defined differently.
Huh.
It's pretty fun.
Who gets to like be the official curator of reality and information, right? Like I guess like Oxford or whoever did the encyclopedias. Do they even make encyclopedias anymore?
I think they do, yeah.
Really? Like paper ones?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
I haven't opened a new encyclopedia anytime recently.
I haven't neither, but I remember having a chunk of my living room with all these big red books.
I have old ones, and in some of them they're mentioning things that they won't even mention now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's politically incorrect or it's outdated in their way of defining things or the diction they use.
Totally. Well, I find in general that having a kid is like voting on a positive future. You just had a kid in 2024. You know, in middle of all the hecticness of the world and the wars and etc. I don't even want to like list all the things that are against us these days. And you're like, let's bring in a fourth child.
Well, God said that.
Awesome. Well, you accepted the gift that God gave you either way. You could have been like, no, thank you. I'm good. Or not now, or whatever, you know, to each their own. But do you believe, I'm making a question that perhaps kind of silly to ask after what I just said, but like, I imagine you believe that the future is positive, that we will have a beautiful world for our kids and that we can have kids because it's not done yet, that, you know, we will become an enlightened version of humanity eventually, even if it seems absolutely impossible right now.
Yeah, right. Once again, right now is the testament of the future. And I look around and see these kids here, and I've been so moved in my heart by some of the interactions I've had with them. And they're just playful. It's nothing other than play. But kids are playing. Kids gonna play. That's part of this is play. It's relationship. Part of it is a cross. Part of it is taking up your cross. And so we don't have to be afraid of that if we have, you know, a captain who has showed us how to take up a cross and be victorious through that. You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying having a kid is like carrying a cross?
Oh, it can be.
Like, so it's like a torturous experience?
Well, it's a sacrifice of you, and you have to, it can be torturous at times for the mother. I mean,
I can imagine.
she's feeding from her own body, losing nutrients and minerals, and, you know, it's like your body gotta stretch out, and then you have to make sure you have resources to take care of the children. And it's like it's everything we do when we're doing it for others is a cross that we have to carry. Like when Jesus said, what is love? It's to lay down our life for another. This is what we're talking about. Carrying our cross is that doesn't mean you have to die, but die to the selfishness for another.
Part of you dies.
Yeah, so the other night,
Maybe
my
Party Congo died at one point. He's like, man, I just want to go to the club.
he was never there. But the other night, my lady wasn't feeling well. I wanted to, I was sleepy. I wanted to go to sleep. But the part of me that's the realest part was like, just do the quantum touch just while she's trying to sleep. Just sit with her, hands on her head, breathe, and just, do whatever soothing, even if it's not going to stop any of the pain that she's feeling, just to have someone there. And not to do it because I expect her to do it for me. There's a good chance she won't even do it for me if I'm feeling like that. But it's not about that. It's about doing what, when we were talking about the fear of the Lord, I fear the Lord and I see someone hurting, I want to be there for them.
But you did,
So my
may I'm just very misunderstanding your definition
yeah
of fear,
yeah
because when you say fear, I think love.
yes, and that is the beauty of it. Like, some people try to say they're opposites, but my love for you also makes me have a fear or a reverence that makes me not want to be a jerk to you, not to take for granted the dopeness of our relationship, that type of fear. And it's not a fear, oh, Chris is gonna get me. It's more like it's the idea touched people differently in ancient times than it does now, because we have other associations with the word fear. And that's why to use the other word might be the best amongst people who have that, especially in our society, the to revere the Lord, the reverence of the Lord. Uh, but yeah, it's that language isn't necessary for the actual thing to be happening. Someone can be doing that without saying, "Yes, I fear the Lord." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you're seeing is you're loving the Lord. You're loving someone.
Yeah. But I
You're,
also respect them.
yeah.
So I
You're
imagine
still in
maybe respect is closer to fear.
respect, but it's like the highest regard.
Yeah.
The highest to revere is like the highest regard. So we imagine you have the highest regard for every single person you come in contact with. You could even fear that the Lord is in Fauci and Bill Gates. Oh, dang. Well, I can't talk crazy about them, or if I do, at least let me know that I'm doing this on an art level, but the core of my being sees the God divine there with them and sees hope for them, just like it sees hope for me through my missing the mark. That, how I see it, it seems like they're missing the mark, but I'm missing the mark. So can I really ascertain? Well, maybe God's spirit in me can. Maybe there's something in there that can ascertain, but then for me to be like, well, God's spirit assess that you inside of me. How arrogant am I gonna sound? So I have to stay in this realm. You get what I'm saying? Like, none of this is foreign.
No, but I like to hear it for your words, and
It's just to bring context sort of to the Christian ideas, and sort of find where we can understand them mixed with some of these other ideas that we have found sound. Like, how do they integrate? Is there attention? Why is there attention? It's good to understand it.
yeah, and that's why we talk.
Yes.
And then that's why I like this show, just having these deep talks. And I like not understanding a bunch of stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
And then like trying to like get into the brain, especially of somebody who like thinks differently like you and
And
you
just
know,
be in the be in the mystery and in the unknown. That
mhm,
was one of the most important things of the ancient faith in Christianity was the cloud of unknowing. That's a wonderful book if anyone wants to read a book that is related to more of like a seems really Tao and seems really Zenish, but it's a Christian mystic book called The Cloud of Unknowing, and it speaks about that unknown, the the hidden aspect in not acting like we already know,
mhm. Yeah, no, be humble in your ignorance.
like a baby.
Yeah, but it's also surrender to be like, oh, since I don't know, I don't know, just it's fine. Just accepting, surrendering to it. It's like let's
Hmm.
make the most out of it. But
Hmm.
yeah, and still there's a yearning and a curiosity to figure it out, and the mind will try its best, but it's beyond its capacity, unfortunately. But it's nice to like try to observe it from different points of views.
Yes.
Back to like you know, future predictions.
Yeah.
Do you think the future is positive?
Yeah. Yeah. I have no other choice than to think that because I think God is good all the time. That's my faith, is that God is good all the time. And that this whole thing only good can ultimately be. I mean, Selassie told I and I, we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Then Bob said it again in the song. Then Sinead O'Connor said it again in the song.
Hmm.
So with those three people saying we confident in the victory of good over evil,
Mm.
I'm gonna go with that. And the Bible say it too. So wow, we have a lot of support for the victory of good over evil.
I gotta believe, yeah. I definitely believe good will conquer at the end of the day. How long it will take? I would love if it was 5 years. That'd be chill. If in 5 years we could resolve all our differences and start working towards a world that's more, you know, harmonious and paradise. Maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe two generations, maybe many generations. I don't know.
I
It
think
seems like things
just
are speeding up though.
I think every interaction is it. If we interact with the God awareness, the fruits of the Holy Spirit awareness amongst each other, yes, there may still be things going on, but the more I and I keep attempting to show up with that, it's sort of happening now. And will there ever be a time when everyone is beyond missing the mark? I don't know. But I know there's a time when whoever's here can love and forgive, and maybe that's where we were to go the whole time. Maybe that is the heaven, love and forgiveness and understanding in our relationships, even with the those called enemies. Love, understanding, and forgiveness there. Then where's the problem? Actually, there is no problem because we're doing the stuff Christ did. If we're doing the stuff Christ did, then we're doing the stuff God does. If we're doing the stuff God does,
I think we're
we're,
already there.
we're in heaven.
Yeah. So it's really like a personal process where we just gotta get closer to the consciousness of the Most High.
It's personal, but it's relational.
Yeah, because my enlightenment or your enlightenment affects other people's enlightenment and vice versa.
Hmm.
So,
And there's no, like, you can't go off by yourself without caring for another and think that's enlightened. You know, just be be all about me, and not have any care, thought, prayer, share, breathing of air with the people in and out there. Oh, where's the beat?
Yeah, man.
I said,
That's
where's the
sick.
beat? I said,
Yeah, you'll see it later and write that down.
no, that was corny. But
Ah. um, yeah, I lost my train of thought there. I was gonna ask you something else. Sorry, Paulina. All these little edits you gotta do
and
now
that's
to
what
correct
happened when
my.
we get silly. You know, you're gonna lose the train of thought with the silliness,
The
man.
thing is, like, the mushrooms are hitting me right now. So, like, I'm
Oh.
like high from the weed, and my
And then
chest is expanded
and
in
the sun
happiness.
too is a little.
Yeah, the sun is perfect right now. No more rain. Beautiful conversation with you. I just feel uplifted in general, and I hope the viewers too got a good vibe from this. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Congo, for
yeah.
like talking with me today. Is there any like final words of wisdom you'd like to share to us? With us?
Final words of wisdom. I suppose, no, I don't have any thought in my head of any final word of wisdom. But currently in my life, wonderful cicada. Currently in my life, I just find making sure that I don't step out of the boundary of me to try and correct another. It's okay to share correction maybe with my children, but when it comes to other people in life, I think that it's so important for us to, if we want to help them, because we think that they can use some new ideas or whatever, we have to be the example. And if there's no way to be that example practically, then keep the idea to yourself.
Right. You gotta be impeccable before you tell somebody else to be impeccable.
And it has to be practical. It can't be, oh, you need to meditate on Arcturus and the Syrian beings. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, get this shit out of here. Like, how can you even be an example of that? I guess maybe if someone asks you, man, how is your life going so well? Your life seems magical. And you're like, yeah, I meditate on Sirius and Arcturus, and this is my practice. And it makes me walk like this, or show up like this. Then if it's somehow doing something like that, then great. But it's very, very often I notice that knowledge can be impractical, and I'm doing my best to not get caught up in impractical knowledge. Maybe that's where more wisdom and understanding, not to down knowledge. Knowledge is key as well. But I think without wisdom and understanding in the balance, without that trinity in balance, knowledge can become a burden. Maybe understanding is maybe each one of them might feel burdensome without a little of the other.
Knowledge without practice, practice without knowledge.
Well, knowledge without wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom without understanding. Understanding without knowledge. Maybe they all need each other.
They're complementary.
Complementary for sure.
Yeah, and we're working at it, and we're all not good at one side of it. We might be good at one and terrible at the other two. But we try our best.
Yes.
And we help each other. Your strengths, my strengths, and then we back each other up, and then that's how we make things.
Once again, relational. Relational. And that's like, if God is just one single thing by itself, then how are us who's made in the image?
Check out that turkey.
Hey, homie, come kick it with us.
I don't know if it's wild or if it's gonna go away, but I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, sorry I interrupted.
No, it's okay. But we're made in the image, in likeness. But we're all about relationship between each other, between us and the earth, between our mind and our breath and our body.
Mm-hmm.
It's all relationship. So maybe God is relational. Maybe God is 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Haile Selassie, the power of the Trinity. Jah Rastafari.
Woo! So cool, man. It's awesome hanging out with you and talking. And we'll go back to the festival. I suppose I'm not gonna paint anymore since homie just bought the painting. I was gonna keep on going at it, but yeah, I think it's just perfect as it is. And yeah, I'll just hang out with people and talk and enjoy the music.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been the life. This is what I consider success. Some
Yeah.
people strive and want so much more. And I love all the blessings God put in our path to share and circulate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But,
give thanks. I mean, I give thanks.
yeah, yes. But we're here amongst this abundance. We're here amongst, this is sort of the things we came to earth for these relations and showing up with the fruits of God's spirit. So I'm thankful to have that example in you. You show up with it
Thank you.
very much, and I see it all over the place. That's why I don't let people, you know, I deal with a Christian faith, as you may hear, you know, through Rastafari, but I don't let people come with that idea that others don't have access to the same
Yeah.
God that I'm talking about
Yeah.
in wherever, because
Yeah.
how can the one who's all not be found in wherever one is seeking? Seek and you shall find.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like once again, totally down with Jesus, but the whole thing like only through Him you shall get to it, and all other paths are not valid. That's kind of like, you know, I love that this attitude that you're telling me that you're here to be yourself without trying to impose yourself on anybody else.
Yeah.
And if we're all just different but accepting of each other's differences, it would be a lot nicer of a world.
But I see a person who has a different way, but they've connected to love, charity, giving of their self for others, compassion, patience. I see them as a true adherent and follower of Jesus Christ. They may not say that. They're not going to say Jesus Christ because that the theology, the doctrine, it doesn't make sense to them, and rightfully so. And for many reasons, there's been so many abuses in the churches. But for me, I would still say, you know, a person coming into contact with whatever inspires those qualities in them, they came in contact with Jesus Christos, and the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They're in communion, but they could call it. It could be called whatever, because like I'll say it this way. Last thing, this is one of my favorite things to think about. In the Bible, there's a book of John, in the Gospel of John, and he says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This comes from the Greek word logos. Logos was a concept in Greece before Jesus was born. It was a concept that they would use to describe the organizing principle in all creation, and that it is happening through the word, the sound, the one word sound. And when John said in the beginning was the word, he said in the beginning was the logos. And so Greek is a culture who had a concept called logos. That concept can be translated across other cultures as having other names. The Tao, Great Spirit, Hunabku, Wakantanka, Husia Heka Mayat. Well, what if Wakantanka incarnated as a person because of the same thing we talked about earlier? It had to connect with us in a way that it hadn't before. Not that it hasn't incarnated as the universe itself already, but it incarnated as completely itself,
Yeah.
completely God and completely man at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost like he entered the video game with full awareness of his absolute self.
Yes, whereas everything else, though it contains him and we can find him in it, it's not the same thing. So people are connecting to these things. They're connecting to Jesus. They're connecting the logos in the grass, in the trees, in the crystals, in the breath. These are the ways the logos shows up. And if we do it with sincerity and are examining our heart, listening to the conscience, the science of that cone. What is a cone? A cone is like a point up here, you know, spiral or cylinder, not cylinder, but it cones down, conical. Well, you could see that as the spiral of emotion, or like the top point is love. And you have gratitude and hope and faith and these things that bring the conscience, that bring the cone science. It brings you to that point. Like if you turn a cone this way, so it'll look like a target, in the middle, a point within a circle. So that's the target we're aiming for. The conscience helps us get there. God put it on everyone's heart and everywhere. Many cultures exist. We can't say that people in all these other cultures didn't want to connect with God, wasn't trying to connect with the Supreme One, wasn't trying to do their best. Now, our best will never be good enough. That's the thing. We could try to do all the rituals and we're going to miss a syllable, miss a breath, miss a timing. Things will be off. We can never do we can't follow all the laws of the Torah. It's impossible. So God had to make sure we knew that we were covered. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the story is. And so in the Logos, you have Christ, who is in everything. It's like not necessarily pantheism, it's panentheism. Not that I take this grass and worship it as God, but I see the fullness of God can show itself and reveal itself in that one little blade of grass. But God is beyond that grass. Still.
Right. These are just expressions of the all.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, matter, or vegetable matter,
Yes.
or humans. I still think it's made from the energy and consciousness of God, and to say we got the gift of having it all inside us somehow.
Yes.
And I hear some aliens don't
Holographic.
have that ability somehow. I don't know what it all means really, but I would imagine it's just part of it all. But we got some access point to it because a combination of alien races that created us.
Right.
But yeah, we're not the maximum expression of it, obviously, and I'm not gonna be like, I am God. It's almost like a little bit arrogant because, there's many fractal expressions of that Most High that are so much bigger and superior to this little physical expression. But I also love it with all my heart, you know?
Now God does want us to become God in Christ. That is part of our destiny. But
To awaken that consciousness while in the body.
yeah, and to become it, but not necessarily, not at all in a prideful way, not in a way where we are lording over anyone.
Yeah.
More so that we are being like Christ, giving ourselves for others. That's the lordship. That's the godship it's about.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Matakeasin.
Let's leave it at that, Congo.
Yes,
that was
sir.
so beautiful. Those were some great final words of wisdom.
Oh,
It's all you have, man. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this conversation with me again.
Yeah.
And we will continue having a good day. And thank
Yes,
you
indeed.
guys for watching another episode of Chris Dyer's Creative Friends. I hope you enjoyed it. So please press that like button, comment some words, share it, and have a great day. And also, thank you to YAK Snacks, because I feel so fantastic right now.
I see it. I might have to yak a snack in a moment.
All right, blessings. Bye. Woo! Awesome, man. Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Next episode, guac.
Why would anyone do this? And it's like, who would want a giant Nintendo game in their house? It makes absolutely no sense. But that's how you get KFC hot tubs. So this is dopamine decor. Like everywhere you look, you're getting a little splash of dopamine. So like bright colors, fun things, nostalgic stuff. You make your house maximalist. I don't think it's cut out for everyone, to be honest. I'm seeing a lot of people that are artists and they're struggling so hard, and it's like, that's not bringing you joy, don't do it. Money and art, in my mind, should just not be mixed because it ruins the art. But if you're able to do the art and the money is part of it, and it's a good flow, boom, you got it figured out. But don't force it to where I have to make money on this, otherwise there's no point making it. It's like, ew, don't make it then.
So please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Big thanks, and see you next episode. Peace.